best starting offensive unit for your NFC.
It's the NFL Divisional Playoff Round on Fox. The Green Bay Packers host the Seattle Seahawks. Good afternoon, everybody. We welcome you to the NFL postseason on Fox. I'm Kenny Albert. I'll be joined by a couple of guys with a ton of playoff experience, 24 games combined during their careers, Daryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. 11 Januaries ago, Mike Holmgren and Brett Favre led the city of Green Bay to its first NFL championship in 3 decades. Today, for the second time in the last 4 postseasons, the brilliant head coach and the legendary quarterback will battle against one another on the football field, and today's winner, Daryl Johnston, advances to the NFC Championship game.
Both of these teams have offensive identities, but their defenses have played key roles in their success this season. It's the speed of the Seattle front seven and the physical style of play of the Green Bay cornerbacks. The Green Bay cornerbacks are going to challenge the release of the Seattle wide receivers at the line of scrimmage to disrupt that timing, hoping that they can get to Matt Hasselbeck when he holds the ball. And the speed of the Seattle front seven, they're going to use that to disguise their defensive plan, to try and confuse Brett Favre. So he has to hold the ball and allow their pressure to get home to the quarterback.
Hey, Moose, you know what? The funny thing is I had a great opportunity to go and speak with Brett about the pressure and find out what he could do to help out that offensive line. He told me there's 3 things. He needs to go and work the cadence and the hard cap to try and draw him off sides, get some free plays, and keep him off balance. He needs to work the dummy audibles. When he think it's run, go to the pass. When I think it's pass, make him think it's a run. And most important, he needs to get rid of the ball. Quick release so he didn't find himself on his back.
Head coach Mike McCarthy is stand for the remainder of your Green Bay Packers.
Brett Favre takes the field here at Lambeau to the roar of this sellout crowd. As we kick off this divisional playoff weekend with our Saturday matinee special. An old friend returns to a town where he is remembered for past glories, as does another looking to forget his team's last postseason game here. Greeting them, a legend. And this time, Brett Favre has recruited a group of young upstarts to carry him to the next level. It's postseason football, the Packers and the Seahawks, next on Fox.
This is tails. What's your choice? Tails, he calls. I'll let it hit the ground. Heads it is. You want the ball? Let's go. Okay. Green Bay has won the toss. They'll receive.
Seahawks quarterback Matt Hasselbeck with a big smile on his face, obviously thinking back to the coin toss prior to overtime in the playoff game here 4 years ago.
We want the ball and we're going to score.
I would just say it right now. We want the ball and we're going to score, okay? Is that okay? I said it. I said it. I mean it. Thank you. All right.
So Matt making light of the situation last week following the Seahawks victory over the Washington Redskins. Head coach Mike Holmgren told us yesterday, jokingly, he said, I'm not going to send Matt out for the coin toss. Our kicker will call it.
I think that's why Matt had the smile on his face. I don't think Mike Holmgren was joking. I don't know if he was saying it jokingly yesterday.
Hasselbeck was out at midfield for the toss. Won by the Packers. Green Bay will receive a 31-degree afternoon here in Wisconsin. This the 15th postseason game at Lambeau Field. The coldest, Daryl, of course, the ice ball.
Oh, man, it's cold today. I can't imagine playing on that day. I think we'd have some sleeves on.
Corin Robinson not wearing any sleeves. He is a former Seattle Seahawk and is back deep. Packers with a record of 13-3 during the regular season. They tied the franchise record for victories. Earned a first-round bye. Josh Brown gets things started. Short kickoff. scooped up. And then Tramon Williams stumbled. So the Packers offense comes out onto the field, led by quarterback Brett Favre, making his 21st career postseason start. Only Joe Montana has started more playoff games and thrown more postseason touchdown passes than Favre. Josh Scobee is the injured Seahawk. Packers offense ranked second during the regular season. Only the unbeaten New England Patriots gained more yards on offense than the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, they have been very dynamic, and I think the big thing, and we had Brett Favre in this Packer team in the opening game of the season, and it was all about the chemistry. How was the chemistry going to come together? Brett Favre predicted a 10-6 season or possibly a 6-10 season. I don't think anybody anticipated this type of year, but this chemistry of this group has come together so quickly, and a lot of that on the offensive side of the ball with some young guys.
Seahawks medical staff tending to Josh Scobee, injured during the opening kickoff.
Josh Scobee, he was the guy behind Tramon Williams. You saw the pile kind of roll up on the back again. That's that high ankle sprain you see right there. As Corin Robinson comes in, rolls up on the back of his legs. And we see that quite often over the last couple of seasons. It's the high ankle sprain. Sometimes when it's very severe, you get the broken bone in the lower leg.
Scobee began the season with the Buffalo Bills, a key player on special teams for the Seahawks. We check out the Seattle defense, ranked 4th in the NFL in sacks. Seahawks sending 4 defensive starters, Darryl, to the Pro Bowl.
You know, but the best thing about this team, and we talked about chemistry with Green Bay, there's such a fraternity with this defensive group that the 4 guys that made it are taking the entire defense with them to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl.
Not only the starters, the reserves as well.
Everybody gets to go. Just a great job by that Seattle defense.
Be a hard time finding rooms out there, I would think.
That's a tough one. I mean, you wait your whole career for opportunities like this. And Kenny, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, probably not a better setting on a day like this, a little bit of snow in the air. You're at Lambeau Field, and Josh Scobee gets hurt on the opening kickoff. You know he's going to be extremely disappointed. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. They'll take him in, get some x-rays, and it won't be bad news.
So now Brett Favre and the Packers offense will start from their own 18-yard line. 2 tight end set. Donald Lee shifting. Favre swings it out on first down, and the catch is made by Ryan Grant. He lost the football, and it's recovered by the Seahawks. Lofa Tatupu comes up with the recovery after the hit by Leroy Hill.
This is a terrible start for the Packers. Not just that play, but the opening kick. They let the ball hit the ground. They get bad field position. Ryan Grant bobbles the ball, secures the catch. He's on the ground. He's still alive. He gets up. The ball is out, and there's Lofa Tatupu. He always seems to be around when the ball is loose.
Leroy Hill did a great job of punching that ball out. The Seattle defense is known to attack the ball. They secure the tackle, and then they're known to go after that ball and pull those balls out. They do a great job.
What a turn of events following the first play from scrimmage. 1st and goal from the 1 for Matt Hasselbeck and the Seahawks. The handoff to Shaun Alexander, and he is in for the touchdown.
Shaun Alexander did a great job of noticing the penetration and just a little sidestep and gets in the end zone there.
This Seattle running game not very successful during the course of the season. They've gotten better towards the end, and I want to see if this is going to be a part of the game. Matt Hasselbeck thinks that they can run the ball effectively against this Packer team. They do it there for a touchdown for an early lead.
Josh Brown adds the extra point. The crowd stunned here in Green Bay. Ryan Grant turns it over. One play later, Shaun Alexander in for the score. 7-0 Seahawks.
Well, Mike McCarthy preached to his team all week long during preparation that it's about attention to detail, not making mistakes. A terrible start for this Packer team.
Tramon Williams again. Across the 25, the 30. Good return by Williams. Forced out of bounds by Brian Russell after a return of 30 yards.
Well, a bad start for the Green Bay Packers. We saw some situations in the wild card round last week. Look at these things as they unfolded. The Seahawks blowing a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter. Jacksonville, a big lead, lost. The New York Giants start out the game terrible, but hang in there. And then the San Diego Chargers, the same thing, slow half. LaDainian Tomlinson shut down. They stuck to their game plans. They didn't panic. You're going to face this type of scenario at some point during the playoffs. It's how you respond to that afterwards.
Good field position for the Packers. They start from their own 35, and this is Grant, who fumbled moments ago. Had a terrific second half of the season. In fact, since week 8, only LaDainian Tomlinson gained more yards on the ground in the entire NFL than Ryan Grant.
He has added an explosive element to the running game. When he was not the starter early in the season, they weren't getting big chunks of yards in the running game. He has added that element. They have to account for him. It is still a pass-first team, but Ryan Grant gives you that dynamic playmaker in the running game.
2nd down and 2 from the 43. It's Grant again. And he picks up the first down, lost the football, and the Seahawks have recovered. Grant's second fumble in the first minute and 9 seconds.
Well, on the first one, it was just one of those plays you're trying to make something out of a bad play. You don't have the ball secured. You fumble deep in your end of the field. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. You can see his teammates trying to get around him, get him to forget about those 2 plays. He's important for the remainder of this game. Let's see how tight he's got that ball squeezed. Just a great hit on the play by Brian Russell. Just jars it loose. Shoulder right on the ball.
Following the second Packers turnover, Seahawks from the Green Bay 49. And a penalty marker. Nick Barnett on the coverage. Pass intended for Nate Burleson.
Pass interference. Defense number 56 from the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Darryl, the Packers led the entire league in pass interference calls during the regular season.
They are very physical on the outside with their corners and with their linebackers. You can see Nick Barnett there way too early. Easy call for the officials on that play. I didn't think experience was going to be a factor in this game. Right now, this Packer team is proving me wrong. They seem a little bit overwhelmed by this situation.
From the Green Bay 43, Hasselbeck to Burleson. And he's brought down by the free safety, Nick Collins, after a gain of 7. Matt Hasselbeck making his 9th career playoff start. He's 0-3 here at Lambeau Field. Has never thrown a touchdown in their stadium. On 2nd and 3, Alexander up the middle to the 32. Brought down by A.J. Hawk, but not before he picks up a Seahawks first down.
You know, the Seattle Seahawks tempo getting to the line of scrimmage and coming out with plays, it is really quick right now. They're making some exchanges, the Green Bay Packers, but the tempo has always been a factor for the Seahawks.
Seahawks have already capitalized on one of the 2 Packer turnovers. Hasselbeck to the outside, and the catch is made by DJ Hackett, who is questionable during the week due to an ankle injury. There is a flag on the